The Jazz Image welcome into Wayne Shorter, who arrives Saturday, March 23rd, 8 p.m., Ted Mann Concert Hall at the University of Minnesota on the campus in Minneapolis. Wayne Shorter and his quartet on tour, a rare and wonderful experience, considering what a mighty man of music he is. And I do have him on the line.
All right, hello.
Good to have you there. Wayne, I'd like to ask you a question that really refers to your history. How did you get involved with Blue Note with Alfred Lion and Francis Wolff and that adventurous crew?
Well, actually, they just asked me when they heard about me, and they heard that I was well, actually, I joined the Jazz Messengers, Art Blakey's Jazz Messengers, and it was like sort of like a built-in thing. When whatever Art Blakey recorded, I recorded.
And therefore the tie with Alfred Lion and company at Blue Note.
Right.
Significantly, in terms of history, that was a good medium for an emerging jazz musician. What made it work?
What made it work was the fact that Art Blakey always looked for musicians who could write. Not that all of them had to, but at someone or two or one or two people in the band had to be writers or composers. And he always appreciated that because I know that Art Blakey really grew up with knowing a lot about Thelonious Monk's music. And to him, he said he was the only drummer who knew how to sail Monk's compositions. And he respected composition and composers.
Therefore, he respected you because you're a composer.
Yeah, he said it was nice to have a composer in the band. You know, besides Benny Golson and Bobby Timmons, you know,
who were all had set a certain amount of material for.
Right, and also he had experience with Horace Silver when they had that group with Clifford Brown.
I'm talking with Wayne Shorter. Thank you very much for just giving us a feeling of the tie between Blue Note Records, Alfred Lyon's pioneering label, and Art Blakey and his taste and forward movement from a composer's point of view. Your quartet that you're touring with right now, handpicked, exactly what you want?
Yes, these are the guys. They're the ones that are open, and as Carlos Santana says, you don't have to have a psychiatrist or anything like that.
Now, one by one, Brian Blade, for some of us who may not have been able to hear him before, you might describe how he fits in and why you selected him for this assignment.
Well, Brian Blade is one of the few drummers, a musician and drummer and percussionist and all that, who thinks in colors. He's a painter. His palette is very wide, extensive, and he's not just percussive as is usually thought that drummers are supposed to do. Keeping time and making percussive syncopation, commenting on, phrases and thoughts and expressions and stuff like that. He thinks like a filmmaker.
Man, that's a beautiful piece of imagery.
Yeah.
The bassist, John Patitucci.
And John is virtuoso. He plays the bass as if it were a violin or a cello or viola or a tuba or synthesizer.
So you can call on that.
And then, so all of these different colors and shapes, and I always say like hills and valleys and streams are involved with an instrument, even without so-called the aid of technology. Nothing against technology, because technology has to be used in the same manner by a human being and pushed to its fifth edge and over.
Well, perhaps some of us ought to have a parachute. Danilo Perez is a part of this quartet.
Oh, Danilo is cut out of the same mold. He's all for adventure, and as I was telling Danilo sometimes, I don't tell him, but we talk. We all have fun talking together, and I got something in about going back to the cliff again, going over the edge, no matter what instrument you play, and going right into the unknown. And we can always take with us the best from the so-called past and the present, use it with something that's better than a parachute, use it as a flashlight in that darkness.
And the leader of the group is Wayne Shorter.
Yeah, but they're all these guys are leaders. They're band leaders. They all have their own groups, and but we're joined together. We refer to ourselves as the family.
And that expression, of course, described in another musical organization, the family of Basie, for example. But this is the family: Wayne Shorter, Brian Blade, John Patitucci, Danilo Perez. As you have, made your way through both the academic side of things from the campus of, say, New York University to the street academies, what in that kind of experience where you've had a chance to mix formal education with the spontaneous world of the traveling academy, the jazz organization on the move, what was the contrast in the learning process?
Well, actually, the contrast is it going to be formality over intention? And the street, or the so-called real world, demands that you clarify your intention. That's what I like when a judge says to a convicted, what were your intentions when you pulled the trigger or slapped somebody or robbed, or when you protested illegally? What are your intentions? And sometimes the intentions override illegality. So you're going to be faced with the real developing your intention to sort of unravel into a journey. And formality, schooling and all that is very valid and everything, but you can't really have schooling dominate the unexpected. So the ability to improvise seems to be an American, as a country, not an American invention, but an American process which played itself out in World War II, where as a private or a buck private could improvise in an emergency and take over if a general was not around. Therefore, the opposing forces, when their leaders were gone or indisposed or captured, they would be confused because of the rigidity of formal military obedience.
Wayne Shorter, your intentions, say in 1959 with the Jazz Messengers, a comment?
Intentions are to actually write things, to see if I could write music for the style of Art Blakey's, what he wanted to present. And what he wanted to present was a mixture of things, but really the motivation was to bring this new music called bebop closer to the people in a showmanship-like manner, minus the clowning.
In 1964, with Miles Davis, your intention?
Intentions there?
Yes.
My intentions at that time to stand alone. And that was the feeling in Miles's group. Everyone had to stand alone. It's like you go to university, no one tells you that you got to do your homework. We all had to, there were no rehearsals. There was never a rehearsal. You had to stand alone and go for it, go for the future. And the future was always in the present, not thumbing our nose at the past, because the present became the past immediately.
In November 1970, you and Joe Zawinul teamed to form the Weather Report, and certainly you must have had goals and intentions.
Yeah, we wanted to do music which could not be dubbed as tunes or a song, like when the relatives come over to the house and say, "Can you play me a tune?" More like a beginning, a middle, and another middle, and another middle, and a more story-like, going down alleyways, docks, and things like that. It was getting toward that picturesque kind of a tone way of expressing music.
Thank you so much for giving us a picture of your goals, your objectives, and the way that you work the process. And We just wish you the very best, and be a pleasure to see you on stage at Ted Mann Concert Hall, Saturday, March 23rd, 8 p.m. Wayne Shorter and his quartet, Brian Blade, John Patitucci, and Danilo Perez. Once again, pleasure and a privilege to sit in with you and hear your thoughts and your mind at work.
Okay, thank you, and you're welcome.